Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Owidi Odoyo, and this is Political Headache. Today, I am with the man with the experience, Mr. Owidi. You know something, Mr. Owidi?
Yes.
How are you doing this morning? Is it morning?
I can't complain.
You can't complain?
I'm good.
It's actually afternoon.
Yes.
I have always wanted to have a sit down with you.
Today you got it.
I remember there were days that you'd come on TV, and Kisumu would be set on fire, and they will be so livid. What is this guy talking about? I mean, where is he born? Who does he know? Who is his mother? They were very, very, very unhappy with you. And I want to tell you a story. Please,
Tell me.
if you'd allow me. Just around the end of 1980 towards 1988,
Yes.
there is a gentleman called Juan Kombodo
Yes.
who went to parliament and slammed his shoe on the table.
Correct.
When he slammed his shoe on the table, the Luo politicians around him say, Nibwana, Jaduwung is going to kill you.
Yes.
Okay? So you must find a way of going and meeting this older man before he meets you. That was Moi. And then when he went and talked with Moi, Moi asked him, what do you want? And he said, the people of Nyakach do not have water. If I can bring water from Sondu to climb down the hill, the plateau, I would be very happy. And Moi directed the Ministry of Water to do just about that. At that time, there was a huge clamor for multi-party politics. And Moi, having been pressured by the international community, said, kama mnataka hiyo, multi-party, nitawapea.
Kabisa.
Then he gave them. Oginga Odinga, when Moi announced that multi-party is going to happen in 1992, went and gathered his people and said, Nibwana, we are getting out of Kanu. But then Juan Kombodo said, Nibwana, this old man just gave me water the other day. I can't move. I can't leave. But then he said, but we have to leave. And then one of the our forefathers in Nyanza said, Nibwana, Juan Kombodo, if you do not go out of Kanu, that is the end of you and Nyakach people. And a rally was held at a place called Paponditi. And somebody pointed at him and said, this one is an Andoga, a betrayer. And that was the end of Juan Kombodo. In 1992, Juan Kombodo went home. Today, the people of Nyakach are drinking from River Nyando, which is poisoned at Chemelil.
Correct.
And that is the Luo Nyanza politics. I don't want to get into the details of it. I want to jump to 2010.
Correct.
When we had the new constitution, and we said that a portion of this money will go down, so that we do not have to go to President Ruto to give us the pipes, like Moi gave us. So the question that I want to ask you is, the devolution. Can you contextualize this for me? The reason why we were having devolution.
That is all you want.
Yes. That is the first question.
Devolution, one of the reasons why it was being brought to justify the fight against the national government. The people who are really fighting very hard for devolution told the people the reason, which was clearly different from the ones they had deep inside their minds. But nevertheless, let's deal with what they told the people.
Okay.
They told the people that we needed resources to be devolved to the ground. I am sure you are taking note. Resources.
Yes.
When resources were to be devolved to the ground, it meant that each and every county would have its fair share of the national cake. Initially, we had wanted devolution to take the shape of the 8 provinces that were in Kenya. Then somebody suggested that Rift Valley was too long and too big. Moving from certain ends of Rift Valley to the other would be equivalent to moving from certain ends of Kenya to the other. So it was to be split into 2. But something else cropped up. There were certain counties that were going to have marginalized communities. I don't know whether that's the correct word, but some communities who are going to live among larger ones. And because of the tribalism in Kenya, they would not end up being the governor at any time. One such county would have been Nyanza. With the Kisii, forming then about a third of Nyanza, they would not win against the majority Luo in Nyanza and some others. So they brought this idea of keeping such out of the division lines, and they brought in very many counties. And fortunately, those many counties meant devolving also the very mistakes of the national government, like corruption, discrimination into smaller pieces. For example, today in Nyanza, you have a county with a budget of 12 billion, using 8 billion for recurrent expenditure. Assuming Nyanza was one county, the 6th county in Nyanza would still use the same amount for recurrent expenditure, if not slightly just more, because we would have the same number of staff managing that. But now, with 47 of them, assuming that they were all the same, we would be using 8 billion times 47 as recurrent expenditure. If we had made them just 8 of them, we would be using a number slightly more than 8 billion times 8. That is makosa ya devolution number 1. When we devolved governments, we forgot that it is the same Kenyans who are corrupt in the national government who will come and run these devolved units. So we have actually devolved corruption. But we devolved corruption with less supervision. Parliament could supervise the national government better. The people would supervise the national government better. Because at the county levels, people who are governing, the governors, have kept on pointing to the people, the national government, how the national government is corrupt, how the national government is not doing this or that for them. But down here, they were being milked dry, even today. So that is why I'm saying the county governments have less oversight. Because even the MCAs who are in the county governments, first of all, the governors had a lot of power to ensure that they got tickets from the tribal kingpins. And you know what that means? They chose people who were easy to work with. And I call it easy to work with because they are easy to be misused. So when you find 2 people, one a class 2 dropout and one a Harvard economist, you will take the class 2 dropouts because he will sing your song throughout the parliamentary term. And you'll send him and he will go. You will send and she will go. You will give a report about your expenditure and she will not understand. And you will see the governor as a god. So you find certain counties, especially in Lowland, we have MCAs who would remove their IDs to copy their own names because they can't write their own names correctly. And those are ones the governors want. And the governors help them get elected. So the governors have no oversight in the counties, or very little, especially in Luo Nyanza, where once you got an ODM ticket, you are as good as an MCA. And because the only link between you and the ticket givers is the person seeking the gubernatorial position, they control you. You have no mind of your own. And they say, I like them because they are easy to use.
The question that I want to ask, in as far as they are easy to use and the tribal kingpins is concerned, if, for example, I'm looking at Kisumu County.
Correct.
I'm looking at Siaya, and I'm saying that I want to get somebody on that seat that can easily be manipulated or can easily come on my side. What would a tribal kingpin want from a county government?
My brother, not just tribal kingpins. Everybody wants people they say they can work with. To work with you means you don't have a mind of your own, you are coming to use mine. And a person easy to work with is a person who owes his election or her election to me. So I am his or her God. When I say left, it is left. When I say right, and it is right. And we have many people in Lowland who have declared that. To them, when the tribal kingpin says, yeah, right, it is right. Left, it is left. they also become county kingpins. When they say right, MCAs all go right. Left, MCAs all go left. Front, everybody's all go front. Fire, all of them fire. So you are asking me, what do tribal kingpins need from
Yes.
county governments? County governments are miniature governments.
Okay.
With budgets, with positions of appointments, and other positions of influence within the counties, including regulations. So imagine a tribal kingpin has a governor to his or her beck and call. That means whatever he wants from the county he can get. Whether it is money, whether it is appointment, whether it is a legislation, he can get all that. But if he got somebody who has a mind of his own, who is not left, I am left, right, I am right, they would not get that. And it is rumored that there are some tribal kingpins in Kenya who have salaries from governors. Some are earning salaries of up to 20 million from one governor per month.
Really?
Get that into your head and think. And you see, we have a problem again. The problem we have is the hoi polloi you see here in the streets. The ordinary citizen, majority of them are largely politically and economically illiterate. And I'm going to tell you what that means in real terms. You go to a county like, say, Homa Bay. By the last census, a constituency like Ndewa had almost 40% illiteracy level. I'm not saying they don't know how to read and write, but they cannot comprehend a report. You pick people who cannot distinguish between a million and a billion. And then this is the person you have sent money to through the governor. So the governor will go next to his village and tell him, you know, you guys, I am working. Don't you see I built for you an ECD classroom in your nearest school? What this person does not know, that ECD classroom costs only 200,000 or 500,000. But the governor has a budget of 12 billion. So it is very difficult to oversight the governor because people will not complain as long as you point to them something small you have done. Or they tell you this road was impassable, now you can pass. But all the governor did is use 2 million to gravel 4 kilometers of it, using somebody who brings trucks of, and say, I have done something for you.
Why is every governor, for example, in Luoland, making those dirt roads? That's like if you go to any county, you'll see so many of those dirt roads.
Yes, because if you have done procurement in construction, you know the easiest way to make quick money is to do dirt roads.
How so?
This is what they do. They bring self-tipping trucks, and then they bring a grader, or a backhoe, or an earth mover. Then the self-tipping trucks bring maram from wherever they bring. They pour on the road. The other one comes and spread it on the road. If you are lucky, they'll bring a roller to roll over it so that it is compacted.
Yes.
It's done. And they can do 10 kilometers in 3 days, and it's over. And they walk to the county government and take 20 million. The work was done for 2 million. They like doing that because that is, and sometimes the most interesting thing about it, those maram roads cannot properly be audited. Because, first of all, assuming you do it in January, or even in November, or even in September, by the time the financial year ends next June, the grass has grown onto it. Then when the financial year ends, see, the books are later taken by the Auditor General.
Yes.
By the time they finish auditing, almost another year. By that time, the road is like what it was before it was fixed.
Yes.
So those people cannot come and know when was this road done. So there are many roads in certain counties which tenders have been given, contractors have been paid, but they did absolutely nothing on them.
There is a road I think somebody put on social media. I think it was you who put a road somewhere in South Nyanza.
Yes.
What was that about? Because ilikuwa imevunjika katikati.
Now you will go and find that road on the records of the county governments, it had been done, repaired, and the contractor paid and he went away. So when auditors would go to the ground, you tell them this thing was done 2 years ago and it's been raining and now this is the state we have it. In fact, we are on the process of awarding another contract for it to be redone. So county governments have a few things that they use to make money. One of them is doing dirt roads. Another one of them is functions. The moment the tents are removed and the chairs are returned and the PA system is taken back, there's no way the auditors will find out how much did this event cost, other than from records.
So they can say that we had 3,000 chairs and there were only 200.
That's now the breakdown. But if we talk about block, for this function, say investment forum, we used 300 million when they probably used 20. Because it is about making papers available, documents of original entry. We did this for this million, we did this for this million. And these days, governors had brought their friends and relatives to be the contractors. So the friends bring in companies or relatives brings companies. This one, we procured PA system. This one, we procured advertising system. This one, we procured a tent. This one, we procured food, and so on and so on. And those people returned the money to them. And because the people
take a piece of it and then return the rest of them.
Because the people don't know what it costs to do those things. They don't know what those dome tents cost. And they will not have the benefit of getting the things on the table and comparing with what they saw.
Yes.
The auditors will come and use the papers to audit. So that is why governors are happy to have functions and counter functions and more functions. Because once things have been cleared, it is impossible for auditing to take place.
I want to take you some 3-4 steps back.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right? And so people like Orengo, who is interestingly a governor the other day who had given his duties to a speaker, you know, and yet he has got a deputy, you know, a governor, which is very, very interesting. But let's go back to when it was formed. So in the minds of people that want to develop counties, from the 15% of the national cake, are saying we are going to give, for example, Siaya or Kisumu 15 billion. I don't know if you ever thought about if we were in a working system and the people that are not being put there by their tribal friends and the people that are not bringing their neighbors and their friends and their concubines to eat this 15%. What should this money, what could it have done? Like if you went to Siaya County, this is the third term, correct? The third or the fourth?
The third term?
Yes.
The third
since we started government.
Yes, 2013 to now is actually.
Yes.
We are on the third.
You are in the third. What in your head would you want to see? Because we know that health was devolved. We know that a bit of education, I think, down there was devolved.
ECD, pre-primary.
Yes, was devolved. And agriculture is devolved.
Water is devolved.
Yes. And for example, Ahero. We have rice farming and we have cotton farming in most of Nyakach area, Ahero and Moroni. Nothing was ever done there. And I want you to look at somebody who had this money and worked properly. What would you see? What would we see? Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're trying to say, but I want to take you back also kidogo.
Okay.
Remember, devolution was coming because we wanted our resources with us in our counties.
Yes.
What resources? When we went to do the devolution, we do not just devolve resources like we did in CDF. CDF was a devolution of resources, funds.
Yes.
Then you form a small committee to determine what the funds are going to do.
Yeah.
But in this, we devolved governments. So to run this government, you are going to use sometimes 80% of this money. Nevertheless, use 80%, but the amount still remaining is enough to do very visible things. I normally remind my people that if you want to find out what the money your governor has been given can do, be fair to them. Leave them alone with the recurrent expenditure, which they largely just use for impressed claiming every other time. Take the development. For example, in Homa Bay, the development is about 4 billion. And if you are an ordinary citizen, check about the church. You donated 5 million. You collected 5 million from Harambes and built a church. Look at that church. Look at the size. Look at the finishing. That is 5 billion. 5 million. 5 million, there are 1,000 of them in 5 billion. So if your county has a development expenditure of 5 billion, it should have projects that is equivalent to 1,000 of those churches you built with 5 billion. That is how you help your people understand the magnitude of how much money is being taken. Look at a county that the biggest things they have ever built are things that are in direct use of the governor himself or the governor herself. One such one is Homa Bay. When Owidi left the office he had used for very long, it was renovated with hundreds of millions. To be actually the best county government office in Nyanza today, hata ukienda kwa ya Nyong'o ni ile ya zamani ya county council.
Yes.
Municipal council. Hata ya Siaya, hata ya Migori. There is no new structures. But when you go to Homa Bay, it was renovated to be the best. Even if you look at the interior, look at the pictures taken from there. With the largest boardroom in the whole of Nyanza. But again, a development project of animal feeds that would have helped the whole of Homa Bay with its 1 million plus voters, people, has been pulled down when it had already gobbled almost 100 million to give way for the governor's office. The governor's office in Homa Bay is larger than the governor's office in Nairobi. With Nairobi with 100 times the economy of Homa Bay. You get what I mean? Extravagance, wastage, and collusion to eat public funds. Why would Homa Bay, a county so small that the county of Nairobi has 100 times its economy, have an office larger than Nairobi's? Why?
How many are sitting in that office?
It does not matter who are sitting.
Yeah.
Why would you have such an office? When they are, even now, there's nobody sitting in the streets. Because even if you wanted to build an office, first of all, you develop. When you have a developed county, now you can build a developed office.
Exactly.
So, then when it comes to building infrastructure attainment, you start with the governor's park. When you are buying vehicles, you start with the governor's new vehicle. When chief officers are sometimes visiting people in motorcycles. Because there is a sense of entitlement in governors. And this is not only confined to Homa Bay. Many others are like that. The only person I have not seen such opulence with is Governor Nyong'o. I have seen him using old vehicles that were used by his predecessors, old offices that were used by his predecessors, and then that saves the county some money. Another way where governors loot a lot. Governors have the ability to seek certain donations. But when they come to the counties, they don't tell their countymen that these are actually donations. This is donation from Del Monte so that we can develop fruit factory here. This is a donation from Thika Coffee Mills so that we can panda coffee here. This is a donation from Rivertex Cotton Mills so that we can panda cotton here. They just give people, and the people clap that they are working. And the people have no ability to know, suppose they bought those seeds, how much would they cost? My brother, recently I had a governor tell her people that I am working. Did you see the helicopters and the jets that came to Homa Bay, some spinning in the air and dropping people? Eh? Then the people say, another 5-year term you utapata. Because the national government brought a celebration which did not change their lives. Instead, they used money to go and witness it. Because we are having a society that is largely uninformed, largely illiterate, largely unexposed.
Does that mean that we are lacking civic education?
It is not the civic education we are lacking. We are having dishonest leaders. If my people do not know things, I will provide them with the knowledge, maybe through that civic education, so that they know what to expect from the county government.
I hope that you are enjoying that episode, people of the internet. You know, everybody says there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their own town, in their own city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call fathers, but there are no jobs, right? Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world, and there is no one to do them. I have worked for a long time online, I think more than 10 years. I work for Americans, I work for Europeans, I work for the Chinese, the Australian, Canadians, the Ugandans, name all of them. And last year, I had a eureka moment. I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I have been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a book called Gold Mine, 18 Side Hustles for Africans. And it sold a lot of copies. In fact, I was going for, sometimes I was receiving 500 orders in a day. In 2025, something happened. AI came. I think in 2025, AI came. AI came in 2024, but in 2025, it is here with us. And people say AI is taking away their jobs. And for me, I'll say false. There are actually AI jobs. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. We now have in my book 25 online and offline side hustles that you can do anywhere in the world, whether you are in the village, whether you are in your small town, whether you're in a marketplace, whether you are in your house, you can do them. In this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance, drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I have made and lessons I have learned over 15 years in this online job market. You can become an executive assistant to busy folks in Europe, America, and Canada. You can also get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. There are many of them, and they're in my book. You can also build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce without a shilling. You can also become an affiliate marketer or an online English tutor. And you can also do tens of AI jobs, and they're all in these books. If you have a job, that is fine, but I know around you there are so many people that are always looking for jobs and at home watching Netflix. Buy this book for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, cousin, husband, who is back at home all day, all night watching Netflix. Okay? Buy it for your friends. That friend who is always asking you for cash, you can buy this book for them. All the information is in the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can go to my website, which is oduorjagero.co.ke. The book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you're anywhere around the world, the book is $10. So thank you very much. Back to programming.
If you find a county government in which a county hospital has been suspended for impropriety, who do you blame? We expected private hospitals to engage in some criminal acts, but not a county one.
Yes.
You find a county hospital where electricity has been disconnected for one whole month. For what reason? Because in any county that I know, the largest budget is health. any throughout the country, including Nairobi, health is the largest budget. That means counties can even afford to provide treatment for free. The last time I checked, for example, Homa Bay had a 2.6 billion budget for health. Yet, and that 2.6 billion, about 800 million was for development. That means from where I sit, there should be no health center or dispensary or hospital in Homa Bay incomplete, even from just one financial year.
Exactly, because they have got
Because
800 million.
Medicine is paid for by the patients. Recurrent expenditure includes are paid for by the patients because the patients are not treated free.
So all
if SHA is not paying, then you will pay.
All you need is the structure and the equipment.
Yes. In fact, you even wonder why hospitals in counties should have a very large recurrent expenditure.
The district hospital in Papunditi, where I come from in Nyakach, only has malaria medicine, nothing else, and there are no doctors.
Why do you have malaria medicine when the county has a budget for health? For that. And the county charges patients either directly or indirectly. Directly means you don't have SHA card or you are not registered with SHA, then you pay your cash. If you are registered, then SHA will pay. The other day, my county was paid over 100 million in SHA payments. But you know what they have done? At least one that I know. They have taken revenue from health sector to become their own source revenue. Yet these things are being paid against allocation that had come from the national government.
What I now don't understand, Mr. Owidi, is one. We have different governmental bodies that are supposed to rein in on the county government and say, but from where I sit, it looks like it is their money, let them loot it.
No.
As much as they want. Because it looks like we the people are at the mercy of somebody. Could it be the anti-corruption? Could it be the DCI? Could it be the NIS? Who is supposed to save the people from this rot? Who is supposed to?
There are two agencies that are supposed to deal with corruption and crime in counties. And corruption is classified differently from those other outright criminal acts. Anti-corruption EACC is there.
Yes.
Then there is the DCI to deal with outright criminal acts. And there is now the county assembly to deal with improprieties. So we have agencies.
Can you tell me a specific example of how each of these bodies will deal with what? For example, if you take 20 million from the coffers and cut it away to the tribal king, how do we?
Let me tell you what should happen.
Yes.
In the event that the county government has decided to go against the PFM Act,
okay,
that is a criminal case, and the DCI should come in. In the case where the county governor has decided to employ his brother directly without due channel, that is supposed to be anti-corruption. In the case that the county government begins to employ an unqualified person or allocates less than what is necessary for a sector, say for health, that is the work of the assembly. In case the governor has been committing all those regularly, that is the work of the county assembly. But you see, there are governors who believe they are very smart. First of all, they have captured the county assembly. They make sure the person who becomes the speaker is at their beck and call. The person who becomes the majority leader ni mtu wao wa mkono, the one that walks with them anywhere, also helping them to echo what they are saying, to amplify what they are saying, how they are lying to the people. So who is going to defend you? Now, come to these other two government agencies, EACC and DCI. Let me tell you, the most powerful person you cannot touch, even if you are DCI or EACC, is a person with cash. I'm not even saying money, cash. There is money. So now you send an officer whose account has never read anything more than 30,000, even when it is at month end. And on the table is 100 or 2 or 3 or even 500,000. You think he will leave? They will take it and pretend to be investigating. And so this is how they steal your own money and they use it to bribe the people you have sent to investigate them. They use it also to bribe your own representatives that you elected because you believed they are the best because they had been presented to you by tribal kingpins. So the people don't even know there is nothing as bad as being in jail and you don't know you are in jail, you think you are in your house. The people are in jail. They are captured. They are colonized and they don't know. So they don't even make an attempt to escape because of their level of illiteracy. And unfortunately, in a society like ours, where a very large section of society is uninformed, is illiterate, is unexposed, the average intelligence that they use to oversight these people on a scale of 1 to 10 is about 3 or 2.5. That is the person who controls you. That is the person who elects your leader. So sometimes when you hear people talking, oh, we will not elect him. This time we must, you tell him and you have not talked to the hoi polloi down there, who actually has more votes than you. Because you, with your PhD in economics, with your PhD in governance, with your PhD in accountants, you have vote is only one. And that village herdsman has 6 children who are voting age. And he controls them like clockwork. And they say, because the prospective governor passed here one day and gave each one of us 200 bob, we are going to vote him or her. And this is the reason why they are poor. They gang up to protect the very person who is the source of their poverty, believing that that person will solve their problems, when they don't realize he's the source of their mounting problems day in, day out.
There has been a lot of issues with, especially in Nyanza, about the party politics.
Correct.
That the first, if you want to be a governor, if you want to be an MP, if you want to be an MCA, the first thing you need to have in your hand, come sunshine, come rain, is that ticket.
Yes.
Do you think that in 2027 we might rethink this issue?
It is very difficult for society to think unanimously an issue. You'll find a large number will rethink the issue and get. But because they are still overweighted by that other larger number, which has not rethought that, which has not seen the light, which has not internalized the jail they are in, it still becomes very difficult. And you see, when a relationship has become cultic, like the relationship of the Luo with their kingpin has become cultic.
What do you mean by that?
It has grown into their blood, just like FGM has grown in the blood of, say, the Kuria community. So even if you talk to them, and they look like you have convinced them, and they look like they have agreed with you, it's a bad practice. The moment you are away and they remain with their conscience alone, it reminds them that, maybe something bad may happen if you don't do it. So sneak our daughter to Tanzania to go and do it and come back. They won't know that we did it. That's what happens. So when you want to build cultism in somebody, a culture into somebody, first of all, you have to create something that he must fear. That if he doesn't do what you want him to do, might harm him. Number 2, you must create in him hope that if he do what you want him to do, he stands to gain something. Number 3, you must present yourself as the Messiah that is standing between him and that thing he fears. And is also delivering him to the hope. Those are how many things?
3.
Like the 3 legs of a stool. If you cut one, it falls. That is how you build a political cult and also a religious cult. And when I say a religious cult, I mean all religions are cults because they are cultures. You get what I mean? So take, for example, Christianity. The Messiah is Jesus. And he has representatives. Just like in politics, we have the chief cult leader and the representatives. Then we have the object of fear that I was telling you, which is Jesus in Satan in Christianity. And you fear that if you don't do things the Christians want you to do, your child may die on the road accident, something fun will happen and you blame it. Then the object of hope. In Christianity is the kingdom of God, where you are going if you succeed in this journey. Similarly, you come to politics.
And I want you to be specific to the Luo Nyanza when you're talking about the three things.
When you come to politics,
yeah,
you find we have the hope of getting into government.
That's the hope.
Then we have the fear of our opponents. We have made our opponents an object of fear. In fact, let me tell you something. In 1969, we made Kenyatta an object of fear plus his government.
After the shooting in
By
Kisumu?
setting him up to shoot people. You know, the people who were shot in Kisumu was a setup.
Was it?
Those people were given boiled bangi juice to drink in the night, and they were told, hata ukipiga Kenyatta na mawe, nothing will happen to you. Hii ni manyasi. There are some stories about our nation you need to know, and the nation is Luo nation. And that is what even Gachagua is doing today. What Gachagua is doing to ensure that the Kikuyu youth go to the roads and they commit those crimes that you know they will always commit. And when they die on those roads, in those protests, they hate the government, and the government becomes an object of fear. And in this case, the particular government is the government of President William Ruto. That is why you see, even a crime that is committed by an individual policeman without an external command, like the one we saw in the street, is still blamed on the president. Yet, the person blaming the president for that is a headmaster of a school, and is never blamed when a child in the school commits a crime, or even a teacher. But for him, he wants Ruto to take responsibility of the smallest person in government to the largest. Even when the guy has been taken to court, he still wants President William Ruto to take responsibility. Because they want to make him an object of hate.
And fear.
An object of fear. A boogeyman. And they tell you, when we succeed in all this, I will now make you, the Gen Zs, ministers and PSS. And this person is spoiling A, B, C, D. When I take over, he will no longer spoil that. So, he's creating for you an object of hope, a destination to go to when you have won the war. And I am the Messiah. I'm the only one who can stand between you and this bad man. That is how cults are built. And cult is from the word culture. Or rather, culture is from the word cult. So, in the true sense of the word, even a religion is a cult, even though we say it's a good cult. Even this thing of FGM is a cult. Even though it was an accepted cult, it is no longer accepted. And even today, there are miniature cults built into these bigger ones. That means within the religion, we can still have tiny religions which are themselves cults.
Yes.
So, my brother, these tribal kingpins, once they have built cults, they have created fear in people. The people say, I can only employ a Christian in my home. Similarly, the electorate say, I can only elect a person from ODM, assuming ODM is the cult. Even if the person they are going to elect has very bad manners, is a criminal, but the cult leader presents a bigger picture, and he tells you, no. Think of the bigger picture. That guy is a small man. Yata akibaki hapo, tutafika Canaan alafu we'll come back for him.
Yes.
When we are in Canaan, we'll throw to him some food, you won't die in the wilderness. But this is the very person who would have pushed you through the wilderness into a better Canaan than even the tribal kingpin.
As we finish, I want to ask you one question. And this is theoretical.
Yes, sir.
We have Nyanza.
Yes, sir.
When we suddenly lose a kingpin, how does Nyanza behave? Have you ever thought about it?
I think you should have said, if we will one day have no kingpin, how would Nyanza behave?
Yes.
Huh?
That's a better way of putting it.
My brother, human beings by their nature always wants a leader. You know, the Israelites cried to God, please God, give us a king. Give us a leader to protect us from our enemies, to lead us into war, to help us celebrate. But God wants them. This leader will just exploit you. That is in the Bible. God warned them about wanting these leaders who will exploit them, tax them, use their money to even take them to wars more. But again, they feared that. What about if somebody attacked us? So, even in Nyanza, the reason why they are sticking to their old kingpin is because they are seeing no new one. And that new one must not only present himself, but he must be credible enough for the people to believe in him. And he must also subscribe to the real or perceived enemy that is there, that he can be against it successfully.
The 3 pointers.
Yes. He must have somewhere he wants to take the people. He must be ready to take on the known enemy or unknown ones that will come in future. Then the people will accept him as a kingpin. When King David was appointed the king of Israel by Prophet Samuel, when God sent him, they did not celebrate his good governance. They did not celebrate his wisdom. They celebrated his victories in war. That is what they celebrated, and sang beautiful songs pro-David and against King Saul. That is the people for you. If you take a people to war, you become a darling. That is the same thing that you have seen American and Israeli president use from time to time. When we have a largely unpopular president in the United States and elections are approaching, he will take the people of the United States to a victorious war. I say victorious because he will choose a war he will win. Or he will be fighting well. And during war, any king is loved because he's fighting an enemy. That third pillar. That is what happens. Even in Israel, it happens like that. You remember in Obama's second term, he had to eliminate a man called, Osama bin Laden. And it granted him re-election, that.
Yes. I remember that picture of them in the situation.
And so look back, even George Bush, Senior, Junior, and all of them. And even here. So people try to get an external enemy to bring internal cohesion. But that is why, even in Luland, our enemy is always outside Luland. Most of the time, the government of the day.
Okay.
That becomes the enemy. So when we are fighting an external enemy, there is always internal cohesion. And I want to give you a close-by example, an example right at your doorstep. When you have concerned with your wife until she's sleeping on the couch there and you're in the bedroom there alone, when external enemies come to break your door, she will be the one to bring for you the weapons to fight them. And that war between you and her ends that moment. Hata kama kuna kitu ulikuwa upewe, unapewa tu saa hiyo.
My hope going forward is that gods are not made the same. And cult leaders are not made the same.
Yes.
Do you think that we might have a less controlling cultic leader in Nyanza?
He will not succeed. First of all, Nyanza is even the worst. If you don't strengthen those pillars, The ones I've given you the 3. You'll not succeed because Nyanza people are also very controversial. You become their leader, wanaanza kuchukia. Unless you are fighting a perennial external enemy. Did you see the way the people of Luo Nyanza were dancing when my brother and good friend Waziri Owidi Odoyo was dropped from the cabinet? They were actually celebrating, and this is a fellow Luo. And when you looked at other communities, they were not celebrating the dropping of Waziri Odoyo. And if there's a good man I know, it is Waziri Odoyo. But they celebrated. When I was dropped from the Council of Chairs, of which I was the chief whip, of which I'd even gone to my village and donated, taken them there, and they donated $1 million to my ladies. And they had promised to come back. Those very people were celebrating. You know? They're not celebrating because I'm a bad person, but they are inherently jealous against anybody who seems to be at the top, even when they are not going to get that position. I normally tell people that my Luo brothers, when their brother has a beautiful cow that he milks, they will be very jealous to an extent that if you tell them, can I give you a similar cow or I kill his? They will choose kill his. Instead of getting a similar cow, mutoshane kwa mali, anataka uwe, mutoshane kwa ufukara. That is our people. And that explains why the Luo migrated from one end of the world to another. The most migrated African community other than the Zulus are the Luo.
Explain that a little bit.
Right from Egypt, into Sudan, into northern Uganda, into Congo, into Ethiopia, into Kenya, and all the way to Tanzania. The only thing that stopped that, when an external enemy came to be fought. By the way, that is what? Because that external enemy that first came was the Europeans. When they came, the Luo now found an external enemy, so they stopped finding enemies within themselves. And that is what stopped the migrations, including, of course, the borders that were now brought. Otherwise, the Luo would still be, because Mjaluo anakosana ndugu yake, because ndugu yake sijui alikanyanga shamba yake, so wamekosana yeye anaenda. Because they are fought. That is how we have been behaving. That is the problem with many of us. Our greatest problem as a community is jealousy. Then later we develop hero worship, and the problem with us, we are lied to very easily. And if you can speak well, you can lie to him very easily. That is why you find some of the most cantankerous churches are thriving in Luland more than elsewhere. Because they are spoken to and they believe it. Even if today you come to tell them that next week the world is coming down and you talk it with conviction, they will believe you. This is why you come down and tell them, this time round you are going to win this race. And you talk it nicely, they will believe you. Even when you have no record of winning anything.
All right, Mr. Owidi. Thank you very much for coming to Political Headache. Promise me you'll come again.
Don't worry, I will come. Because, I like people who have conviction, sound, demeanor, like you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So people of the internet, thank you very much for, joining again at Political Headache. This is a place where we talk politics, we talk development. And remember, politics is the business of people. So if you want to be a tomato, if you want to be maize, please make sure that somebody gives you something before you become that. Until another episode, bye for now.